Okay, so here is the first one for you to factor. I'll start with a nice easy one. 2x squared plus 6x to the third plus 8x to the fourth. All you have to do is find out what's in common. If I were you, I would write it in expanded form first. I'm going to pause for a second while you give that one a try. Okay, so you should have broke this thing up into 2xx plus 2 times 3xxx plus, wait a minute, how do I break up an 8? 4 and a 2. So 2 and 4, or 4 and 2, doesn't matter. X, 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 X. Why do I do it that way? I just think it's a good way for kids that aren't awesome at factoring to see things that are in common. Do you get that they all have a 2? Did you get that they all have 2 x's? Then you should have said 2 and 2x, not 2x, x squared. 2x squared is what factored out front. And then did you remember to cross off those? And what if there's nothing left? Then you have to have a placeholder of a what? 1. Whenever something just cancels out completely, replace it with a 1. This cancels out, there's a 3 and an x left. This cancels out, and there's a 4 and an x, which is x squared. And we're all pluses, so there we go. That's factored form. The only thing you could say if you wanted to be a nitpicker is to say, Mr. Server, you should have put the 4x squared first, and the 3x in the middle, and the 1 last. There. That's factored all the way. Okay, now I would have been fine with either one of these two at the end. How many of you had that before I had it? You actually had it right. Only a couple people. All right, so that's a tricky one because it had so many things in common. Let's do another one now that you saw how that one worked. You need to see that one for more? Okay, let's try one more. 5x squared minus 10x minus 15. They all have something in them. Figure out what they all, don't say it, figure it out. Write it out. Because I'm afraid you'll know that there's, okay, I'll tell you, there's a 5 in all of them. I'm afraid you'll know that, but then you will say, I don't know what to put in here. Okay, I know a 5 comes up, but I don't know, but that's why I tell you to write expanded form. If you're too lazy to write out expanded form, it'll probably mean you'll be too lazy to get the right answer. It's not that complicated. It just takes you a minute to do. And if you do it, all right. So Mr. CF, what'd you get on this one? All right, get to it. Looks to me like you haven't written it down yet. That makes it take a really long time. Hurry up. Get motivated. Yes? 9 times 2 makes 18. So 2 goes into, and did you say 2 and 18? Yeah, both 2 goes into 2, and 9 and times 2 makes an 18. So can you tell what goes into both of them? You asked 2 and 18. What goes into both of them? This is 2 times 1. This is 2 times 9. Now you tell me what goes into both of them. There you go. Okay, I understand you want to work on a different worksheet. You'd have to give me a problem. I will help you with it if you're done with this one. Have you done this one yet? Okay, just do this one. There's a reason I'm walking you through this. You could do your old homework at home. I'm trying to teach you something here. All right. Those 3 5s are the key. Okay, M. Tell me, what comes out to the front? And what do you have left once this, and this go away? That is correct. Now, how many of you noticed you can factor it again? do you remember that this kind of factoring has an x and an x, and these two numbers, okay, it doesn't feel like you've even written this problem down yet. Get to work. It's not okay to just sit there. I can and will ask you to leave if you're not willing to write the problems down. All right, so those two question marks have to multiply to something and add to something. They multiply to this, they add to that.
3 times 1.
3 and 1 will work if you put the right positives and negatives on it. You figure it out and give it a try. Yes? So there's a 1 and a 3. Okay, you're trying to do two things at once. Just stick with me and do these problems with me. I'm trying to teach you to factor, which is the other worksheet. So if you learn this, you'll be better at that other worksheet. All right, you said it was 3 and 1. I agree with you. Which one's negative? The 3 is negative, and this is positive. Why? Because that way they multiply to negative 3, and they add to negative 2. All right, that's factored. So what else could be on the test? One last piece. If it says equals 0, you know that you can get those little mini bite-size equations. X plus 1 equals 0, x minus 3 equals 0. Again, there's no way to just like say, well, I want to learn all those things for the ACT. And then this is one of those things. It takes work. You can't just like go, poof, I learned them all. It takes work. There's 200 things that are on the ACT. This is just one of them. Actually, honestly, this is 2 of them. Because it's factoring, and then this last part here where you set it equal to 0, these little mini bite-sized equations, that's another thing that's on the ACT, is simple equations. But remember, there's 200 things they can pick from. So you might have got a test that's harder than the kid next to you. I think there's 14 versions of the ACT. So if you're sitting down next to other people that are taking it, you can expect that theirs is different than yours because they don't want people to be able to look over at the kid next to them and get the answers from them. They want a lot of versions, so it's really, really hard to cheat. All right, so x equals negative 1 and x equals 3. Who had that one right? Literally? Only one person, really? Really? Oh, 3 people. Okay, good. Okay. So, I'm going to give you another one that's similar to that, but it has already factored. Can you handle this then? Oh, wait. X minus 7. Make 2 little bite-sized equations out of this. I'll pause while you try that one. Okay. Should have started with x plus 3 equals 0 and x minus 7 equals 0. How many of you knew that?
I knew that. I did it in my head.
All right. Okay, so we subtract 3 on both sides. X equals negative 3. And we add 7. X equals 7. Hey, sip it. Then we got 2 answers, negative 3 and positive 7. Okay, how many of you actually had those on your paper?
I know I did.
All right, did you not have them?
I have it.
Yes, you. Did you write the problem down?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Oh, good. All right. Next. This one's going to factor. And then, after it factors, you have to make those 2 little mini equations. Try this one. X squared plus 6x plus 5. It factors. Then you make your 2 little mini equations, and you get x equals like 3 and x equals negative 2. That kind of thing. See if you can do it. So, do you know that it looks like that? If you don't, that would be really sad. We've practiced it. Now, do you know that it starts with an x and an x? I bet you do. Then you said 2 numbers that multiply to 5. So I want to put them in here. You said 5 and 1. And it doesn't matter which one I put where. And since there's all pluses here, must be a plus. Then the thing that you weren't quite processing was that these 2 numbers have to add to 6. And yes, 1 and 5 does add to 6. So that is the factoring answer. And if our test was only on factoring, that would have been it. But the test also wants you to do solving, which means you got this part turns into x plus 1 equals 0. This part turns into x plus 5 equals 0. And then you have to solve your two little mini bite-sized equations. You know what to do? So you're going to subtract 1 from both sides. And then you subtract 5 from both sides. Is it Nolan? Can you verify that? All right. All right. And x equals negative 5. So we have negative 1 and negative 5. How many of you had that answer? All right. I have 2 people. 3, 4 people, apparently. Okay. Yes, question. Okay. That's obviously not right, so just ignore. All right. The board's frozen up there. So, okay. So now, this is the hardest kind. And this is why we're not ready for the test yet. Because unfortunately, there's like 3 or 4 of you that couldn't answer that last one. And I still have to go one more step past it. It goes like this. X squared plus 3x plus 5 equals, and then it's got stuff on the other side. All right, write this one down. I'm waiting for you to write this down. I'm noticing you haven't started writing yet. Write this down. This? Oh, good. Okay. You're just way ahead then. I apologize. All right, so now I'm going to go on the other side. We have an x. And then on this side, we're going to have a 2, let me think now, plus 4. That'll work. That is about as hard as they could get. Now, why is it so hard? It's only because the other side doesn't say equals 0. So all you got to do is subtract off stuff until the right side does say 0. Do you get how that? Yeah, that's the problem right there. If you just say, oh, it's going to be too much work, I'm not doing this. That's where you give up, and that's where you say, I'm not going to learn how to do factoring and solving. You can do this. It's not that hard. How do I get the x off of there? I subtract x. If I subtract x on this side, I got to subtract x on that side. Now the x is gone, and it equals 4. X squared plus 2x plus 5 equals 4. Now it still doesn't equal 0. How do you make it equal 0? Subtract what? Subtract something, but not that. That's a 4. That's what you should subtract. You know why? Because 4 minus 4 equals 0. I wanted it to equal 0, right? And now I have x squared plus 2x. 5 minus 4 is 1. There. That was my first 2 steps. All you had to do, subtract off these 2 things. Now it's equal to 0. What do you think we're going to do next? Can't solve until you do something else first. Come on, renew my faith in humanity. Nope. We're trying to get this. Don't just yell out math things. What's this called where you get something that multiplies to something?
It's the parentheses. I don't know.
Come on, it's called something with an F. You could do this. Factoring. Thank heaven somebody remembered the topic of the last 2 weeks. Factoring. All right, so then, I'm going to factor that thing. Mr. J, tell me what these 2 spots have to be for sure. Okay, X and X. Good. And then tell me what these 2 question marks have to multiply to.
1 and 2.
Nope, they only have to multiply to one of those things. 1. So then what do they have to be?
0 and 1.
No, 0 times 1 is not 1. It's times. 1 times 1 makes 1. And then do these two numbers also add to 2? Then they must be right. So it's factored. Am I done? No. Yes, say that again. And the other one's identical, so I could do it, but I don't really have to do it twice exactly the same, do I? Subtract 1, x equals -1. If you can handle that, then that's about as tough as they get on the test. That's the toughest. There's a lot of easier ones before that, but at the end, when it gets tough, you got to get stuff from the right side out of there. That was the new thing. You got to get that to equal 0. See how I got it to equal 0 right here? In this part? Equal 0 is a good thing. Factored and equaling 0 is the best thing. Honestly, I just did this today in my highest level math class, which is literally 5 classes above this one. And that class had to do the same thing. They had to factor 2 things and set it equal to 0. This is a skill you'll need 5 math classes from now, and every math class in between. Factoring's a big deal. So take the time to learn it. That means when you're sitting there stuck on it, which will happen, ask for help. We're here to help you. If you're just going to sit there and go, well, I guess I don't know how to do that, then you're not going to learn it. If you're willing to seek out help and say, here, can you show me how to do this? We will help you. All right, that's all I got for the new stuff for today. I'll record a couple of the first homework problems we do together. Okay, here we go. I am not having you do all of these because this would be too much. So let's cross off some. You ready? Here are some ones that you can skip. That cell phone needs to go away or it's going to be mine. Put it away. Still teaching you. Almost done. You got to cross off problems first. Number 1 we are going to do. Number, let's see, 2 and 3 aren't too bad either. Let's cross off number 4. Let's cross off number 6. Let's cross off number 9. Let's cross off number 10. No, it's not as easy as you think it is. Let's cross off number 12 and 13. Nope, you can do 14. 14's kind of got the new stuff. We can cross off 18, yes, that's reasonable. And we're going to cross off 17. That's it. I'm not going to repeat them all. All right, we can look at the review tape, it's fine. I'm just going to also skip 19. Yes, you may skip 19 as well. Okay, now we're going to go back and do some together. Now, look at number 1. My dad used to always say, hey, that's not nice. My dad used to always say that if you got started, you were halfway done. So, it's not true, but it's kind of got a truth in it, and that is that if you don't get started, it's really hard to finish, right? If you get started, then it's like not so hard to keep it going. So, let's do number 1 together. And it says 3x squared. Now I want you to right away start factoring it down. What do I mean by that? I mean break up the 30 into something times something. We're doing expanded form here. Do you get that this 3 can't break up, but the x's can? Do you get the 30 can break up? And be smart. There's like a million things you could break 30 into.
5, 3.
But maybe you should use a 3. See how there's a 3 right there? Wouldn't it make sense to use a 3?
Times 9.
So 3 times 9 would be nice if it actually equaled 30. Come on, 3 times what? 3 times 10. Good. And then, how about the 9? 3 times 3. There you go. Now, why did I do all that? Because if I don't do all that, and all I do is say, oh, there's a 3 and everything, you won't know what to write on the inside. There. Now that I got it all broken up, I'm going to call on different people to keep it going from there. Mr. W, R. After I pull out a 3 into the front, tell me what's left. After I take out this 3. WR is doing it. Not just X, with 2 of them there. X squared. Keep going. Don't forget the x. Okay. There you go. Now, if this were a super easy class, you'd be done. But you are taking quadratic. This is the heavy-duty level that gets credit from the state. Otherwise, if you do stuff before this, it doesn't get credit. This is hard enough to qualify to count with the state of Minnesota as algebra credit. So we'd be done otherwise, but this is heavy-duty quad. You have to factor the x out. I hope by now you all know there's an x and an x. And then how does this deal go again? It has to multiply to what?
3.
Multiply to 3 and add to 10?
3 plus 7.
3? How do you make a 3? There's only one way. 3 and 1. So you tell me how on earth we could have a 3 and a 1 make a 10. So it's not possible. So we can't factor it further. So no. I get what you're saying. You're thinking that there's no way to factor it further, but we did factor it already. It was done right there. You had to check if you can go further, but in this case, you couldn't. All right. What's the next one we're actually doing? We can do 2. Want to do 2? 5 comes out of everything on number 2, and then it'll be easy. Okay, one of the new ones. I like it. Flip it over the back side. One of the new kind is like, I think we skipped 13, right? How about, do we do 14?
We did 14.
We're doing 14 then. Here we go. X squared plus 3x minus 12 equals 6. Now, why is this one broken? Because it doesn't equal what? 0. It's supposed to equal 0. How do I get it so it does equal 0? Minus 6. Very good. And write down what you have. X squared plus 3x. And now this will fail some of you guys because you won't know how to do that. We've been practicing it since the beginning of the year. Hopefully you'd know it was negative 18. But if you, that's part of the reason I keep coming back to that basic 20, is you got to know how to put things together like that. Otherwise you get stuck in problems like this. All right. Are you done with this one? Doesn't feel like you are. I think you're just saying that to make me feel better. Look at number 14. Get the first step done, and then you can say that. Okay. In the back, Mr. W, this factors like this. What goes where? There's an X. Excellent. That's a good way to start. And then the next two numbers are going to multiply to what?
18.
Good.
Negative 18.
Yes, even better. Well, what multiplies to negative 18? 9 and 2, but do 9 and 2 make a 3? No. 3 and 6, very good. There's a 3 and there's a 6. Now the only hard part is which one of them is negative.
6.
I'll give you this hint. It doesn't matter until you try it. Just listen. Until you try it and you find out whether it works. Does that times that equal, that plus that equal positive 3?
No.
The question is, does negative 3 plus 6 make positive 3?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. So this worked. But then that's not done. The final answer is you have to do this. 2 bite-sized equations, which are easy. X equals 3, x equals negative 6. There's your final answers. All right. So from here, we do a couple days of review. Like Friday we do a review. Monday we do a review. I'm pushing the test off until Tuesday of next week. That's all I got for you for today.